Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. So you've clicked on today's episode, Jordan Peterson's health thing. Maybe it's clickbait, maybe it's reaching out to the rest of the world to suggest that maybe take caution in what I advocate for here. Yes, the whole Health 44, eliminating those 4 food categories, making sure we introduce and have daily supply of the 4 categories of micronutrients. And your health will be on a better trajectory. So it's been doing the rounds for quite some time now. It's not just recent. It's probably gathering steam. Has it gathered steam? I don't know, but it's quite visible. A tautology. This whole carnivore thing. There's a suggestion, a bit of a push, a fashion, a vibe, a progression to the whole carnivore thing. The vegans were winning the diet wars. I've had a whole episode called the Diet Wars. So sorry while I get rid of some notifications. So since at least 2020 to 21, Jordan Peterson's been on this carnivore diet, slowly eliminating everything until he was just eating beef and sparkling water, which is straight off the bat. That sparkling water thing is already reducing the amount of digestion of the beef that he is eating, if that is the case now at the end of 2023. Yes, he was losing weight, he was looking good, he was looking trim, his cognitions were back in check, and he wasn't looking so red-eyed and all that sort of thing. Okay, I get it. And it goes without saying with his daughter, Michaela Peterson. She got him onto this carnivore diet thing, and she is flourishing. And there's many people that are flourishing with the carnivore diet, and I've got a whole episode on the carnivore diet peril, I think it's called, where you're not totally out of the woods. Yes, you will get this sudden spark in. Let's face it, a lot of people try carnivore to lose weight, but it's people suggest that their autoimmune disease symptoms are dissipated by going carnivore. Even the keto crowd will find their way in there. I even had my only a handful of episodes ago. I was I I clumsily branded my approach as the keto 44, and then with some epistemic humility that was already acknowledged and there, I thought, no, I'm not fully keto either. I'm 99, not 90% at least keto, and I have some grains as part of eating. I don't know, my eggies of an evening, and get some yogurt in me in the morning. I have some rice and or corn, a tiny bit. So with that carnivore peril thing, and I've done a few YouTube shorts on this, is that if you're not including carnivore foods without if your carnivore trip is only beef, if it's only muscle meats of whichever other animal you're on, it's like a drug thing, isn't it? You better be considering eating organ meats, eggs would be of great value. You better consider eating the kidneys, the liver, there's offal, there's those organs, right? We used to eat brains in the past. People often forget, we have a long history of 200,000 years of eating animals, and look at us. Well, look at us. We ate animals even 100 years ago, and we only lived to the average age of 40. Well, that's not quite accurate. Just a quick thing with that whole idea of living to the average age of 40, and now we're living better, and there's more vegans and this and that, and we've doubled our life expectancy. Well, I've said this often, but infant mortality just straight away, bang, lifts the statistically a low hanging fruit. It lifts average age significant when you effectively eliminate 90-95% of infant mortality rates. Of course, it's going to lift the average age. And get this, as a bit of a mind fuck, back 100 years ago, when the average age was 40, we had 1 in every 400 people that lived past the age of 5 lived to be a centenarian, 100 years plus. 1 in 400 people. Now that we're living at 80, we've doubled our life expectancy. 1 in 10,000 people live to the grand old age of 100 plus. So there you go. How about that for a bit of a... So with Jordan Peterson, yes, 1, 2, 3 years of great progress. He's not out of the woods, and neither is anyone else out of the woods if you are a carnivore eater, if you just eat beef, if you just eat any other muscle meat. If you're a keto and you eat the eggies and the butter and the bacon, you're also not out of the woods, because we're not quite understanding how much micronutrients we need. And this is where I plug my Health 44 type shtick, which I probably 10 episodes ago I started. I used to call it the Keto 44, and before that it was the 44, the twist of dairy and egg. I do have enough epistemic humility to progress as well, but there's not that much change. And you can also do what I'm doing while being a vegan. A bit more of a challenge, because it's very hard to get enough calories to be satiated if you don't get enough micronutrients. If you get enough micronutrients, you won't be busting and to get more calories in, and then you're reaching for the olive oil, which is a hazard in itself. Just quickly, I haven't forgotten about the sparkling water thing with Jordan Peterson, so I'll get back to that with the oil thing. Usually, not usually, all oil in a bottle, even though it's in a dark bottle, extra virgin, extra virgin, olive oil is rancid by the time it gets to your palate, because just that little bit of that gap in the top of the bottle is enough to oxidize the oil contents, and that oxidizes the oil. It makes it rancid. The longer it stays on a shelf, yes, even if it's in a dark bottle, glass bottle, or all that sort of thing. That rancid oil creates these the whole trans fats, heterocyclic amines, and acrylamides in our circulatory system, giving us that atherosclerosis progression. Bingo bongo, we die much earlier than we should. So, and to get back to the sparkling water thing, if you're drinking anything carbonated, you are effectively reducing the acidity levels in your gastric juices. Your stomach pH rises, and then once the pH rises, which means it gets less acid towards base, so it's always acid, or hopefully it's always acidic in your gastric juices, but once you're taking, for example, in this example with Jordan Peterson, the sparkling water, your pH rises. Sparkling water may not rise it by a whole point, like from 2 to 3, but 2 to maybe 2.5, 2.7. If you, depending on how much of the sparkling water you drink, you will digest less. Therefore, you will absorb less of the micronutrient that you are getting from the cow. This beef, that cut, that animal, lamb, chicken, right? So, I plead with Jordan Peterson and others that are taking sparkling water to spice up their carnivore trip, is to cut out even your sparkling water. Drink normal water, okay? Also, you need to give the fluids a chance to exit your gastric, your stomach. Half an hour is a good indicator. Don't have to be on the money. 20 minutes is better than 10 minutes, and half an hour is better than 20 minutes, and 40 minutes is even better, right? After before you eat. So no eating during your meals, because if you what? I just said no eating during your meals. No drinking during your meals, right? So the more you drink during your meals, wash it down with. We all know this in our lexicon, in our culture. Wash it down with some quality wine, all that sort of thing. The more fluid you wash your food down with, the less gastric juices there are there to absorb, to digest the food that you are eating at that time. So if you've downed a cup of fluid, of whatever fluid it is, together with your food, with your meal, you're not going to be digesting it as much as we possibly can. We also need to increase our salt intake. Jordan Peterson doesn't have a problem with that, I don't think. He may salt a little bit. We need to salt a lot. To increase the hydrochloric acid type environment in our gastric juices, to lower our pH, our stomach pH down to 1.9, 2.0 type thing, battery acid level, to digest our food, and then it can pass through into the next part of the issue that needs to be addressed in this whole Health 44 thing, which I go on with. So no carbonated drinks and no drinks at all before you eat. Let's give it half an hour. Even there's a naturopath, Barbara O'Neill, suggests that too. She's very popular in the alternate health space. And you can, after your meal, you need to give it probably 90 minutes. So I suggest Jordan Peterson and everybody in the rest of this world, I do this, is 90 minutes after your meal, then you can get the fluids down. No carbonated beverages, right? Right. So once you've digested the best you can with that simple thing with increasing your salt intake, half an hour before meals, 90 minutes after meals, fluids, then you need to consider how you're going to absorb what you're eating. And with the carnivores, because hopefully they're not eating grains when they're carnivore, you should have no problems in absorbing the micronutrients from the meats, hopefully other organs, and bone broth. Don't forget the bone broth, those carnivore and keto people. Good value to have in your diet. So, if you're not a full carnivore and you have some grains, and if some of those grains are, and here it is, part of my Health 44 health regime, I will now plug it, what it really is. So digestion is the first part, absorption, and then getting daily dependable supply of our micronutrients. That's the three facets of, and what's the Health 44? Well, the health bit is that three parts of it, right? Digestion, absorption, dependable daily supply of your supplements. Then the first for the 44 is elimination of 4 food categories, which is in effect 90% plus of the supermarket. Oh, I thought, what the heck? And then it was easy. So those 4 food categories are gluten's out of the contest. We've heard of the gluten people. There's the carnivore crowd, the gluten crowd. There's the vegan crowd. There's the, going back decades, there was the Mediterranean people are still out there. Oof. The Okinawa diet people. The Okinawans are in the blue zones. They should be bloody even more blue. They'll be slowly catching up to the rest of the world because they're getting more glutens in their diet. No, it's not just being spiritual and having belonging and friends around. Don't give me that. Okay? You could be a hermit and still live to 120 if you're well nourished with the micronutrients. Digested, absorb it, dependable daily supply. Without spirituality, friendship, and belonging, yada yada, and family and whatnot. Oh, yes, you can. So, glutens, which is wheat, barley, rye, oats, and my new grain that is a no-no is buckwheat. Out of the contest. That's the first of the food categories gone. Okay. Get used to reading labels if you choose to take on this regimen. It's a doozy. It's a good one. Let's compare notes to all the other gurus out there. Pick your time, 7 years, 30 years, 50 years. I'll be 100 if you pick the 50-year time frame. So, oils is next. I mentioned the oils in a bottle. Also, fried food, burnt animal fat, out. Okay? If you are a carnivore, if you like your meat well done, medium rare, that's the most cooked that you should have it. Any more cooked than that, heterocyclic amines, acrylamides, trans fats. No. That's where you're going to get the early deaths, the cholesterol, all the supposed associated illnesses that go with being on a carnivore diet, right? Then the sugars, out. Refined sugar, out. And guess what? Oh, I can't say it. I can't possibly say this. Fruit. All right, you don't have to probably eliminate fruit altogether. I probably have between 2 and 6 serves of fruit in an entire year. Fruit these days, the fructose is natural. As soon as it gets out of the exits the liver, it's sucrose, mate. Yeah, it's sucrose. So fructose, I think has fructose got an even higher GI glycemic index than table sugar? I don't know. It's the same. I think it may be the same. Anyway, so sugars out. Okay, toxic and for all organisms. And then lastly, on that first 4 of the 44 is nitrates out. If you're a if you're a carnivore eater and you eat bacon, for example, and salami and pastrami and corned beef and that sort of thing, salami, did I say? Yeah, salami, nitrates. That's where the cancerous, the carcinogen thing comes in, giving the spike in, if there is a spike. Some will say no, but if you got a chance of getting cancer as a carnivore, that's where that is. It's the processed meats that have the nitrates in it. Read your labels, and best of all, avoid those processed meats because it's a damn ringer that'll contain the nitrates. That's the new carcinogen in town. That is worse than sitting is the new smoking and the carcinogen of old smoking itself. And perhaps those people that are the toxins and asbestosis and the like, right? So that's the first 4 of the 44. Second 4 of the 44 introduced the supplements. You need to supplement these days because our food supply chain is stuffed. It is stuffed. even in the mid-30s. Senate Paper 264 comes to mind. 60% of the US soils, which was a head start, the rest of the world is catching up. 60% of the US soils were depleted of minerals. It's much worse now, of course, nearly 100 years later, and the rest of the world is catching up because of the whole. We've effectively mitigated flooding in our farmlands across the whole world with 3,000. What's this 3,000 business? 3 million dams in the world that we've manufactured, preventing minerals from higher up, rock formations and mountains and soils, and flowing down into the farmlands. Oh, gee, that's a bit of a drag. All this sediment is left over, and the farmer just till it back into the soil. That's how we unknowingly we're getting our minerals in our crops in the past, together with ash practice. 99% of ash, yes, carbon waste, 1% very important trace minerals. Okay, there are 90 essential micronutrients that we require. 60 of them are minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids, making up 90 declared essential micronutrients. There's numbers like 27 and 30 essential micronutrients that we require. They forget to include all the trace minerals, elements, right? There's a few amino acids that don't make the list as well, and I'm not sure if they include the omega-6s as being essential, the LAs. So that's the Health 44 in a nutshell. I'd like to give it a plug in each and every episode, because this lowbrow production has a high capacity, has a high likelihood of, once watched, I might as well plug it, and it might spark somebody into action. We've tried everything. Why not try the Health 44? Yes, I haven't been doing it for 20 years. It's only my 4th year, but let's compare notes. I won't be looking back. If I fall off this particular this regimen which I advocate for here, I will be the first. I will be the first to say on this screen that it's a piece of shit. I have failed. I am humbled. This is not the way to do it. But let's compare notes. 7, 30 years, 50 years. Yeah? Right, so with Jordan, get off the sparkling water, anything carbonated, and all the rest of you. Okay? No more sparkling water to make sure that you are digesting the meat that you are eating. If you're not supplementing, if you're a carnivore or vegan or whichever orthorexic approach you're taking, orthorexic is a recent phenomenon. A recent term that I uncovered, and I'm probably orthorexic. Orthorexic, I could be classified as orthorexic when 90+% of the supermarket is out of the contest for this belly, right? So, whichever diet you choose to do, make sure that you consider the supplementing regimen that I suggest here. My dealer is longevity. I get my micronutrients from the longevity crowd because they're fully on board with this methodology of the declared essential micronutrients that we require, not just humans, all vertebrates for that matter. And we could extend this into climate change and that, because the minerals come into play there. I think I've got it. Yes, I do have a podcast on the whole issue with climate change and minerals. Yeah. So for Jordan Peterson, I'm probably using Jordan Peterson as a clickbait, but this is for everybody. Yes, you will get benefit if you go vegan. If you've started vegan, you're vegan for 1 or 2 years, you will get benefit, because guess what? Hopefully you're not eating processed foods and junk and whatnot, right? Yeah. But a lot of the time, people, if they choose their particular diet approach, it's usually by force, by motivation, by um, defying the authority of nature, fighting those cravings. Oh, I've got plenty of. Have I got at least one or two episodes that I've got addressing your cravings in the title on the podcast, at least. So, um, there you have it. It's not that hard. There's the Health 44. Digest by not eating and drinking, not eating, not drinking half an hour before the meal. Leave it 90 minutes after the meal before you get fluids on board. Cut out the carbonated drinks. Do the Health 44, and you'll be right. You will be right. People usually respond to stories. My quick story is, I've put on quite a bit of weight in the last 6 months, I guess. At least 10 kilograms I've put on in the last 18 months, perhaps. I'm still around the same body composition, but I've put on some beef through beginning to go to the gym. So I've pretty much put the donkey before the horse. I say that because we've got the horse before the cart and all that sort of thing, where exercise restrict. But I just went on the Health 44 without exercise. I dropped all my weight. I was even slimmer than I am now, and I was feeling so great that I off to the gym. I don't do much anyway, but that's my little brief story. And I got rid of my carpal tunnel, my shoulder issues, my finger issues, orthopedic issues, some borderline metabolic syndrome issues, together with the obesity. I got to be probably in the vicinity of 180 kilograms at one point. I'm now around 96, say 95 to 97. Thriving at the age of 50, and I want everybody else to thrive. Even Jordan Peterson, I want to have Jordan to be productive for the next 30 years. Imagine if he can be productive for the next 30 years. There's other people which I'd like to also, I hope they can continue being productive via health. So let's all of us do it. Eh? What a concept. So, and I was getting at the orthorexic idea where you restrict yourself to one particular diet. There's the religious types which are, that's not proper keto. You ate this and you can't be in ketosis, and the carnivore that's eating eggs, you're not carnivore. All those things, and then the vegan people, which you ate meat. Oh no, it's not meat. Oh, but yeah, yada yada. Just it's fine. Continue on your thing, but you need to understand the micronutrients complex, because if you don't, you won't get it. You won't barely get to be an octogenarian. You will barely get there. There's this whole thing that we're living longer and longer as well. No. I suggest every 50 years from now on, we're going to drop 5 years of average life expectancy age. Watch this space. Because we're not quite understanding. We aren't understanding what's really going on. Not enough minerals in our foods. We aren't digesting and absorbing it, equals we might be burying our children. Sorry to end on that. Well, yes, I am ending on that. I am summing up. And I've done, they're not really hit pieces. I like to help out on people's approaches with their diet, because you're not out of the woods yet. There's plenty of an example in the past. We've all seen the Oprah Winfrey and this and that. Bodybuilders dying young and bodybuilders being sick, and the fitness people and the running people dying young and all that sort of thing. Yes, I got proven wrong once, supposedly, where there was a vegan doctor. He practiced till the age of 92 and he lived to 104 and he was a vegan. Well, wait a minute. He was a vegan, but he had some fish. That's not bloody vegan, you idiots. Anyway, yeah, I did. I wanted to find out for sure, and bingo bongo, right? So, for the carnivores, take note, and for everybody else for that matter. So as to use Jordan Peterson as a bit of a hit, but it's also well intended. Come on, and let's give him some credit. He suggests that I don't know anything about this, but he knows a little bit more than he humbly suggests. And oops, sorry, Mike, I could know more as well. But if something works, yes, okay, I get it. It's worked from Jordan Peterson. How come you're flouting this and you might fall off the wagon? I might, but my chances are much lower because I'm understanding this whole micronutrient thing. Yeah, yeah. Right, okay. I'll sum it up there. That's it for now. Thanks for your interest and bye.